The book of Ezra and Nehemiah. It's two books that they're divided because they were separate, but originally it was made to be combined together. After Babylon destroyed the temple and many people to exile, and 50 years later, and tells the return of some Israelites, and that happens, and build a city, why it's there. And the two key leaders, you have Ezra and Ezra, and then Nehemiah. And the book design of each leader was a large group, back to Jerusalem, back to temple, and 60 years later, back to Jerusalem, teach the Torah, build the community, and here the Nehemiah, the rebuilding of the walls, and these three stories of design, parable, as the king of Persia, prompted by Jerusalem, and by resources and support, and each leader opposition to overcome, and leads to strange anticlimax of the three parts. Let's back up and see how that fits all together. The story decreed with Cyrus, the king of Persia, whoever wants to return to Jerusalem may have God build the temple. And Arthur says, fulfilled the promise by Jeremiah, the exile will one day will return to Jerusalem. This fulfillment and many epiphanic of exile was at the end of the story. We have hope, future Messiah king like David and God temple, and all his people, and a new God's kingdom to come to all the nation blessings. It's like he promised Abraham, the fulfillment of hopes in mind. In this story of Zuzura, so name planted in Babylon, captivity. It's a wave of Israelites in Jerusalem as they settled there, offering sacrifice there to itself, the founding nation, and the temple, final dance. See the packs of the tabernacles and see the minds. This is a fiery presence descend, dwelling with his people, and it doesn't happen. And some people are happy about this, but the elders who remember previous temple of Solomon, they cry out, it is nothing like the glorious past or their hopes of the future. We get the hope of the first story. It's very odd. The grandchildren of Israelites were not taken to exile, the Israelites, offer help to the temple. And Zerubbabel refuses. He said, you have no part in the temple. And just their conflict, Israel overcomes. But it's strange, because the prophet's vision, the tribes of Israel would come together along with the nations to participate the worship of God of Israel and the king finally come. It's an anticlimactic moment, to say the least. In 60 years, and we listen to the leader of Israel. Israel's of a Babylonian. It's Artaxerxes, the king of Persia. Another wave of people God teaches toward behind their community. And then the people hopes are higher. We come to another anticlimactic moment. The story. Israel learns that many in the exile, wives that come back, marry non-exile, and are living non-Jerusalem. Not some are non-Israelites, and some were. And it appears the command of Torah, supposed to be holy and separate from the ancient Canaanites. And the story, these people are bad as the Canaanites, the corrupt. And Israel's promise of repentance is very heartfelt. They rallies all the leaders and divorce decree. All these marriages have no part in and sent away. And the creed is partial carried away. And this thing of some divorce the wives. Very story strange, a number of reasons. God never commanded Israel to do this. It's the leader of Jerusalem that led it to do this creed. The Malachi they should care about. God opposed divorce. It says in Malachi. It's Malachi decree is this pattern of strange concluding climax. These are the next section on Nehemiah. official living in the ruin of he prays. He prays when the Persian king rebuilt the wall, and an armed escort and 56 horses, rebuilding project, and for this opposition, living around Jerusalem. Once again, we find attention in the story. The temporary prophet Zechariah said the New Jerusalem will see a city with all walls, would be people, all nations would surround it, and the covenant of the people. But Nehemiah, he sees the opposite this vision. He informs Jerusalem. They have no part of Jerusalem, and this provokes them. Hostility, and Nehemiah comes with vision, with integrity, and they build a city, armed guards to protect them. We keep wondering what this whole conflict could be ended differently. This leads to conclusion in the book. Too positive and too negative. These are basic and connect together with reinforcement. They read and teach the Torah for 7 days, and they celebrate the feast on the booths, and they offer a confession of sin and covenant of renew vows all the commands of the Torah, and they made a great celebration, temples, the walls of Judah, and thinking could be the turning point, but is not. The book ends in a huge downer. Nehemiah turns and finds people have not fulfilling the covenant of God. Savetico is undone, as I find the temple neglected, and it's not the qualified people. Discovers Israel's works be compromised. He finds everybody violating the Torah, Sabbath, and even on the walls, because people are serving on walls of Jerusalem, working on the Sabbath. Now Nehemiah goes a rampage, beating people up, pulling their hair, yelling, "Obey the commands of the Torah." In his final words, he prays, "God remember him, at least I tried." The book ends. It's very strange. We'll be prepared for it. It's anticlimax moments that evolve in the book design intentionally. Here's the question: what does the earth tributes to the story of the Bible? The book restarted as the hopes, the prophetic promise, the Messiah, the kingdom of God, and nothing happens. Even Israel happened back in the land and unchanged before the exile. With Ezra and Nehemiah do their best, but those social forms, they don't address the core issues at the heart and heart. The book points it out. Same things happened to my Jeremiah and Ezekiel. What God's people need, a whole holistic transformation from the heart. If they're ever gonna love God, the book ends on a good wisdom, prophetic, to find out what God's gonna do to fulfill His promises for now, as a book, Ezra and Nehemiah.